Hi, today's lesson is on Maybe Tomorrow by the Stereophonics. So it's a song written by Kelly Jones. I assume it's Kelly Jones playing the guitar on the original. It's quite easy, this one, as long as you can do bar chords. So like a lot of these lessons that I'm doing, bar chords are the thing that you need to be able to do to play the song. But if you can play bar chords, then this one's quite an easy one. I'll just quickly run through what chords are involved. The first one's an E flat major 7. Now this probably isn't a shape that you've used before for this chord. It may be, but the standard E flat major 7 that you've done is probably that, maybe that. Yeah. But the one he uses for this song is like this. So it's first finger on the 4th string, 1st fret, and then these 3 fingers are all in the 3rd fret on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings. So we've got 1, 3, 3, 3. Very important with this one that you don't hit the E and the A strings. It'll sound really bad if you do. So it's kind of a slightly tricky choice of shape that he's using for that, because of when you're strumming, trying to avoid these strings. I try to mute the A string with this finger. So if I do catch that one, it's not going to sound too bad. But the E string, you just have to avoid with the pick. So that's E flat major 7. If you find that difficult, then you could just use a standard E flat major 7. The next one's C minor, which is a bar chord, 3rd fret, over 5 strings, A minor shape. Hopefully you already know that one. So it's 3, 5, 5, 4, 3. There's some slight variations he does on some of these chords, which I'll run through in a sec. Then we've got G minor, which is another bar chord at 3rd fret, covering all 6, E minor shape. So we've got 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3. And then we've got an F, which is major. Now, most people would just do this. The way Kelly Jones tends to play is like this. So the thumb over the top here is sort of optional to get the bass note, but he often, if you watch him play it live, he doesn't necessarily get that note. But I would definitely include that. So it's exactly the same as a bar chord, except you don't have to actually bar, you just cover 2 strings here, leave those where they were, and optional thumb there. So we've got 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. Obviously if you're not putting your thumb there, you have to avoid hitting this string. So that's F. Then there's an F sus2. Now this will explain why he uses that F rather than the bar chord, because you just lift your 2nd finger away like that, so you've got an open 3rd string, and that's F sus2, again with the optional bass note. So we've got 1, 3, 3, 0, 1, 1. That's a nice chord, that. And then later in the song there's a D7, which is a bar chord at 5th fret. So that's just an A7 shaped bar chord. So we've got nothing on this string, then 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. Hopefully you're familiar with these chords. That's all of the chords that are in the song. So that's everything that you need to know to be able to play this song. Now the way the song's structured, you've got a verse and a chorus and an intro and like an outro as well. They're all the same. They're all the same simple chord sequence. And then there's a solo section which is slightly different. So I'm just going to run through the main sequence which is in the song for the majority of the song. So we've got a bar of E flat major 7, which is 4 beats, a bar of C minor with some little variations that you'll see, bar of G minor, half a bar of F, half a bar of F sus2. So if I just play those without any variations, it'd be this. Strum wise, I'm really just not doing anything very complicated. I'm just keeping my arm moving and hitting the strings most of the time when I go past them. Now I know that's a bit vague, but it's one of those strums where you really want to be doing that so that you're catching the strings every time, but making some of these louder than others, and that's what gives it the accents and gives it the rhythm. So if you just play, if I take a G minor chord, If I just play without any accents, it sounds like this. You make some of them louder and some quieter, it sounds like this. And you get a bit more of a rhythm to it. So just try to practice keeping this arm moving and hit some of them louder and some quieter once you've got the hang of the movement. Now the variation I mentioned, on the C minor, rather than just playing the C minor for a bar, he starts off without these fingers on and kind of hammers on like that. And then he also does a pull off just with this finger afterwards. Now this is all a bit vague as well, but if I just play that bar just to demonstrate, you'll see what I mean. Something like that. I'll do that slowly. And this isn't exactly the same every time in a song, but it's roughly that. So the way to approach it, I think, is just to think it's C minor, but you can take these off and you can take just that one off and just play around with that. So if I just put that in the sequence now, it's this. And that's really the majority of the song. That's the sequence. E flat major 7, C minor with the movement, G minor, F played like this, F sus2. Okay, that's most of it. So then the solo section changes a little bit. We've got a bar of C minor, just straight C minor, no movement this time. A bar of D7, a bar of G minor, a bar of F, and the first time I don't think he does the sus2, I can't hear it on the song. I'm talking about the original recording here. So we've got a bar of C minor, a bar of D7, a bar of G minor, a bar of F. And he repeats that, C minor for a bar, D7 for a bar, G minor for a bar, but this time F for half a bar, and then F sus2 for half a bar, so he takes that finger off. I'm just going to demonstrate that bit. So it's and then following on from that, we've got 4 bars of G minor, and it feels like it's too long when you just play this on your own, but if you play along with the song it fits. So you've got 4 whole bars of G minor, 16 beats. And then we go to the E flat major 7 from the beginning of the song, C minor, each for a bar, G minor for 2 bars. So that little sequence there is this. And that completes the solo section, or middle 8. And then we go to the chorus again, and it just goes round the chorus sequence, which is the verse, the basic sequence I showed you earlier. Round and round on that. And at the very end, it just does a final strum on the E flat major 7. Which is quite a nice ending. It doesn't sound particularly resolved, but I quite like that. It kind of hangs there, that chord. So I'm just going to play the whole of the solo section for you again, just so you can see the whole thing in one sequence. Into the chorus to the end. Okay, that's it. That's the whole song. Really good song, but relatively simple, and certainly in terms of the structure. It's nearly all that one sequence. Okay, I hope you get on all right with that. If there's any questions you have about that, please put them in the comments. And you can suggest other songs you want to see lessons on, and I'll do my best to have a look at them. Okay, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, thanks.